And in new CBS News polling, 69% of Americans say they would describe President Trump as tough. 63% said energetic. And as you see on your screen, 66% said the president hasn't focused enough on lowering prices. For more on this, let's bring in CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes. Nancy, the White House so pleased with this polling, they released their own press release detailing it. But if you look inside, it shows that inflation is a key reason that Trump not only won the election, but the poll suggests Americans feel he should be doing more to lower prices. Help us understand what that means.
I think it's probably, Errol, as simple as the fact that Americans see that this president is taking a lot of action on a variety of fronts, including immigration, the war in the Middle East, certainly government spending. And yet what they haven't seen is a concerted effort to try to bring down prices for everyday household items. Part of the reason he isn't doing that is because the reality is that there isn't a whole lot that the White House can do to tackle inflation. But nevertheless, some of that frustration did show up in our new poll. However, the reason the White House is so happy about this poll is, first of all, the president got a 53% approval rating, which is awfully high for any president, and particularly this one. And then strong majorities support the moves he's making to send troops to the border, to send people who are here illegally back to their home countries. People are a little concerned, it appears, about his proposal to buy Gaza or take it over and redevelop it. But all in all, there was a lot in this poll for the Trump administration to be pleased with, and that's why they were making sure that everybody knew about it over the weekend.
I want to ask you about something Vice President J.D. Vance posted to X yesterday. He said, quote, "Judges aren't allowed to control the executive's legitimate power." A lot of people are noting this. Help us understand what he means and why it is a very significant statement.
Basically, what he seems to be saying is that everything that this White House is doing is completely legitimate, and therefore the courts have no jurisdiction over the executive branch. Now, that's a fallacy. Federal courts have always had the ability and the right to weigh in when they believe that the executive branch or the judicial branch is overstepping. They did it repeatedly when President Biden was the president of the United States, for example, with his moves regarding Dreamers and giving them more rights, or student loans. And so it's not surprising that some of the very aggressive moves that the Trump administration has undertaken has gotten a pushback from federal judges as well. What Vance was referring to most likely in that post was a ruling over the weekend by a federal judge who blocked DOGE, Elon Musk's cost-cutting operation, from getting into the Treasury Department's payment and data systems. And that is critical to what the Trump administration wants to do, which is slash the federal workforce, slash government spending very quickly without having to go through Congress. And that's what federal judges have been reacting to, things like that, things like trying to redefine birthright citizenship. Those are the kinds of things that you would expect might get some extra attention from federal judges.
All right, Nancy, great to have your reporting with us this Monday. Appreciate it.